This is my aging AR2805. It is actually a beautiful receiver. It's non-HDMI, so I've got to use optical and an SPDIF for audio for my projector screen, projector, and this rear wall has the surrounds on it. It did have these cheap Chinese Dream acoustic speakers, which are, you can see they're rated at 150 watts. Yeah, I don't think I'd put 150 watts through those. And basically, we've just repainted the feature wall behind me, and here we go. They actually look really, really nice. They sound pretty average, and they're not very efficient. So my wife said, there we go, yuck, can we get something that is neater and the right colour, as in white? So I paid some of $125 for a set of Bose Acoustimass 5 Series 3. So basically that's upside down, but this is what you get. This is a totally passive system. You have inputs and outputs, and there's a couple of, I think they're 5 1/4 inch subs in there. And this is rated at, this is the instruction manual here, it says it's rated at 10 to 200 watts. And the reason that you can put 200 watts through speakers like this is because of the tricky crossovers that Bose puts in here. So the bass basically strips out all of the high power and only delivers a small, well, a reasonable wattage, but doesn't deliver any low frequencies that would damage speakers like this. So basically I'm going to see if I can hook these up directly into the Denon surround sound system and set that up for small speakers in electronic processing in the Denon amp, so that it clips out the low frequencies and sends them all to the sub. I've got a 12-inch Sansui sub that's about probably 15 years old, and basically I'm going to see if I can use these as surround speakers without using the Bose subwoofer. So one of the first things to check is just check speaker impedance. These are 6.8 ohms, which is fine. So in the manual you can see A or B speakers, if you can get close enough, 6 to 16 ohms. I just wanted to make sure that the amplifier could support speakers that are only 6.8 ohms. Obviously 4 to 8 ohms is pretty standard. So that's first tick for the Bose. So this is how this is meant to be set up. So we've got inputs from the amplifier, and then these, don't hate me for the wires, they're just to test it up. That goes up obviously to the speakers, but basically these are some little homemade jobbies I made for tests. So if I pause that and then change to this speaker, so now I've got audio coming out of this one and the Bose, and you're never going to tell on YouTube. Oh, by the way, just running this through an old Technics, beautiful old amp, and a matching Technics CD player. But what I'm trying to illustrate is that this acts as a crossover, so that you can basically connect these speakers to anything as long as it has a crossover on the feed end, and this is handling all the bass from in here, which means these should be perfect for a home surround system.
Like most higher end surround receivers, the Denon AVR2805 allows for different speaker setups, including large or small speakers. You can also define crossover frequencies for each channel, but I haven't gone to that level of detail yet. I've listened to this now for a few weeks using the Bose instead of the old and much more massive Dream acoustic surrounds. The verdict is that in all honesty they probably don't sound quite as nice or as well rounded because the low frequencies are clipped, but aesthetically it's a huge win, and because the Bose are more efficient, they improve the music experience.